5 Things We Never Get Over by Krishna's Mercy. एतदाख्यानमायुष्यं पठन् रामायणं नर सपुत्रपौत्रस्य गण प्रेत्य स्वर्गे महीयते. Quote, the man who reads and recites this narration of the Ramayana will be blessed with a long duration of life and, after death, will be welcomed and respectfully received in the heavenly region along with sons, grandsons, and relatives. Valmiki Ramayana, Bala Kand, 199.
1. The loss of childhood. I think it is fairly common for adults to yearn for a return to the old days. They desperately wish to go back to simpler times. It always seems that things get more complicated as you get older. I find myself thinking this way quite often. I marvel at the fact that I had no idea how good I had it. Childhood was unbelievable. Sure, going to school was terrible. There were some bad moments, but just see how easy it was to find joy. Waking up early on a Saturday morning and watching cartoons, free of the burden of getting ready and traveling on the bus to a prison-like environment. We had only a handful of channels. We had to turn a dial to tune to the station we wanted. But just see how happy we were. I will never experience such joy again. 2. The loss of a parent. I think one of the reasons I have such nostalgia for childhood is the consistent presence of my parents. It is like they were our best friends. The relationship totally changed in adulthood. Not necessarily for the worse, but things were different. Now that they are gone from this world, it feels terrible. There is like this perpetual hole in the heart that can never be filled. As much as I prepared for that moment of separation, nothing can truly alleviate the suffering. 3. The loss of a relationship. Though many years have passed, I still think back to it. Why did that person abruptly end things? We used to be together all the time. What did I do wrong? How could they be so cruel? How can anyone be that cruel? Think about it. Is not separating the dumbest thing? Are we so callous to our fellow human beings that we only look to see what we can get out of them? I think animals do not even exploit in this way. 4. The unnecessary struggle. I refuse to forget how that person treated me, just when I needed support the most. They knew how much I was struggling, and they decided to take that time to add on to the difficulties. I would never do the same to anyone else. At the very least, my presence should bring relief, joy, happiness, excitement, and the like. I cannot imagine ever intentionally sabotaging someone else's plans simply out of envy. 5. The consistent and persistent abuse. It is like PTSD. Looking back, I don't know how I survived. Sadly, I look back quite often. It is difficult to forget. Every single day, I had to tolerate that nonsense. I don't get why people are like that. No one can sit quietly and mind their own business anymore. I know that I should forgive and move on, but I don't think I ever will. Probably because I can't understand why they behaved that way in the first place.
The truth of the matter is that we have to get over it. Whatever exactly it is, there is no other choice. Otherwise, we succumb to despair. We remain in perpetual depression. It is like this world has gotten the better of us. It is surrendering when there is always another option. There is another day wherein the fight can take place. The struggles, the difficulties, the losses, the turmoil, the interference, the abuse, those were guaranteed as soon as there was birth. No one necessarily told us. There wasn't this big event with a spoiler alert. We were too young to handle the information regardless. How could we possibly understand unless and until we experienced the difficulties for ourselves? And yet that is one of the reasons contributing to the immense value of Vedic literature. The principles presented are timeless, for the very reason that in whichever period of time we take birth, there will be the same hardships. We will be forced to endure, at a minimum, the restrictions implemented by nature, such as sleeping due to fatigue, eating due to hunger, and chasing for enjoyment to remove boredom. ये ही संस्पर्शजा भोगा दुहक योनय एव ते आद्य अंतवन्तः कौन्तेय न तेषु रमते बुधा. Quote, an intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery which are due to contact with the material senses. O son of Kunti, such pleasures have a beginning and an end, and so the wise man does not delight in them. Lord Krishna, Bhagavad-gita 5:22. Bhagavad-gita explains that such experiences have a beginning and an end, so the wise person tries to rise above. Armed with knowledge, they work their way towards getting over whatever may happen. If we are looking for an example from history to draw upon a single person for inspiration, strength, courage, and guidance, then Narad Muni has something in mind. He gives the highest endorsement to the Ramayana history. This is the real-life story of the ideal man, living with the highest responsibilities, carried out within the greatest difficulty. That ideal man, who is actually an avatar of Vishnu, has to get over so many difficulties. He has to find a way out of many calamities. Those troubles arrive unexpectedly. Just when you think everything is going well, that every person is happy, that there is no turmoil bubbling underneath the surface, everything changes. Indeed, there are moments of despair. It is not like the leader of the Raghus is a robot or lacks emotion. The worst things happen to him, and Rama sometimes wonders if there is any reason to continue. Fortunately, he has the amazing younger brother named Lakshman right by his side. Lakshman is the greatest support system anyone can ask for, and this is nicely symbolized in his role as the eternal resting place for the Supreme Lord in the spiritual realm of Vaikuntha. Buddhischate mahapragya devairpi duranvaya shoke nabhi prasuptam te jnanam sambodhayamyaham. Quote, O you of great intellect, not even the demigods can fathom the level of your intelligence. Due to bereavement, your wisdom is currently in a dormant state, and I am here to rouse it. Lakshman speaking to Lord Rama, Valmiki Ramayana, Kand 66:19. When there is birth, there must be death. When there is attachment, there must be separation. When there is comfort established through consistency, there must be discomfort caused by disturbance to the equilibrium. We have no choice but to move forward if we are to live up to our dharma, which is service to the divine. We can always take strength from that hero of the Ikshvakus who set the standard for the ideal way to live. In closing, highest standard to set, from his example to get, where inspiration to give, in proper way to live, how calamities strong and steady, even when least expected and ready. Rama assisted Lakshman by his side, from that wisdom always to rise.